I'm standing in the Alpha King's courtroom, and my worst nightmare is about to come true. Shift, the king commands. His voice echoes through the marble hall. 300 wolves, watching, waiting, judging. I can't, Your Majesty. I'm unable to shift. I've never been able to— Liar. The word cuts. Absolute. Final. I can smell your wolf. Strong. Ancient. Powerful. You're hiding your shift. I want to know why. My heart races. 7 years. 7 years of hiding. 7 years of pretending to be broken. 7 years about to end in front of everyone. Your Majesty, please. I'm not hiding anything. I'm just— shift. Now. That's a direct command from your king. Disobedience carries severe consequences. I look around the courtroom, see the faces, the judgment, the curiosity, the anticipation of watching a broken she-wolf fail to shift. Again. They don't know, can't know, what revealing my shift means, what I've been hiding, why I've lived 7 years as a lie. But I'm out of options, out of excuses, out of time. If I shift, I say quietly, everything changes. You need to understand that. Everything. Then everything changes. Shift. I close my eyes, feel the suppression I've maintained for 7 years, the constant pressure, the daily battle, the exhausting pretense. I let it go, and I shift. The courtroom erupts, gasps, shouts. Absolute chaos. Because my wolf isn't normal, isn't ordinary, isn't anything close to what they expected. My wolf is white, pure white, with silver eyes, and massive, twice the size of normal wolves. I'm a lunar wolf, the first one born in 3 centuries, thought to be extinct, legendary, powerful beyond measure, and I've been hiding it for 7 years, pretending to be broken, living as a lie. The Alpha King stares at me, silver eyes wide with shock and recognition. Impossible, he whispers. Lunar wolves are extinct, gone for centuries. You can't be. But I am. I've always been. I just didn't want anyone to know. Because being legendary means being hunted, being targeted, being used as a weapon. I chose broken over legendary, chose safety over power, chose hiding over truth, until the king forced my hand, made me reveal what I'd hidden, exposed the secret I'd guarded for 7 years. And now everything, absolutely everything, changes. Chapter 1. The childhood, 17 years before. The birth, my mother told me the story 1,000 times before she died. The night I was born, the night everything changed. You came during the full moon, she'd say, her voice filled with wonder and fear. The brightest full moon in decades. The midwife said your eyes were open immediately. Silver. Glowing. Impossible. What did Father say? He knew immediately what you were. A lunar wolf. The firstborn in 3 centuries. He was terrified. Thrilled. Desperate to protect you. Why terrified? Because lunar wolves were hunted to extinction. Their power too great. Their abilities too dangerous. Packs feared them, coveted them, destroyed them. We couldn't let anyone know what you were. So they hid it. From birth. My parents, my older brother Ethan, our small family pack in the remote mountains. We kept my nature secret. Absolute. Complete. Childhood, ages 5 to 10. Why can't I play with other cubs? I asked when I was 5, watching from our cabin window as pack children played in the clearing below. Because you're special, Thalia. Different. And different isn't always safe. I don't want to be special. I want to be normal. I want friends. I know, sweetheart, but normal isn't possible for you. You're lunar. That means isolation. That means caution. That means hiding. By age 7, I understood what I was. A lunar wolf, silver-eyed, white-furred, powerful, legendary, extinct, except for me. What can I do that other wolves can't? I asked my father during a training session. Deep in the woods, far from curious eyes. Everything. You're stronger, faster. Your healing is instantaneous. Your senses are beyond acute. You can hear thoughts if you concentrate, can influence other wolves with your presence, can channel moonlight itself as power. That sounds amazing. It's dangerous. That power is why your kind was hunted to extinction. Other wolves feared what they couldn't match, destroyed what they couldn't control. Will they try to destroy me? If they discover you. Yes. That's why you must hide. Always. Never shift in front of others. Never reveal your true nature. Never be seen for what you are. By age 10, I'd internalized the fear, the need for hiding, the danger of being seen. My wolf prowled inside me, magnificent, powerful, desperate to emerge, but I kept her locked away, hidden, suppressed. Ages 11 to 13. The training. My teenage years brought intensive training. How to suppress my shift, how to appear normal, how to lie convincingly. You need to practice struggling to shift, Father instructed. Most adolescent wolves struggle during their first shifts. You need to mimic that. Appear weak, broken even. That's your cover. You want me to pretend I can't shift? I want you to pretend you're ordinary. Struggling is ordinary. Perfect control is not. If you shift effortlessly on your first full moon, people will suspect something. So I practiced appearing weak, struggling, failing, making my strength look like difficulty, making my power look like inadequacy. Good, Father said, watching me fake struggle through a shift attempt. That's believable. That's what normal looks like. Remember this. When your first official shift comes, this is what you show them. Age 13. The first official shift. At 13, all adolescent wolves attempt their first official shift during the full moon ceremony. The pack gathers, watches, celebrates as young wolves find their forms. Remember? Mother whispered before I walked to the ceremonial circle. Struggle, fail at first, make it look hard, then shift into a small, ordinary brown wolf. Nothing special, nothing remarkable, just normal. I did exactly that. Struggled convincingly for 20 minutes. The pack murmured about difficulty. Some adolescents struggled for hours. I made sure I fell in the difficult but not worrying category. Finally, I allowed a shift, suppressing my true form completely, becoming instead a small brown wolf. Unremarkable, common, exactly what we needed people to see. That's it? Someone whispered. That's her wolf? Kind of small, isn't it? Perfect. They saw weakness, ordinariness, nothing worth noting, nothing worth investigating. My true wolf raged inside, white, massive, silver-eyed, desperate to emerge. But I held her down, locked her away, showed the world a lie. Ages 14 to 17. The accident. At 17, everything changed. A hunting accident, a rogue attack. My parents and Ethan killed. Our small mountain pack decimated. I survived only because I was at the stream when the rogue struck. Heard the screams. Ran back. Found devastation. No, please, no. My parents gone. Ethan gone. Everyone I loved, destroyed. The investigators came, pack officials, examining the scene, determining what happened. Lunar wolves did this, one investigator said, examining claw marks. These are too large for ordinary wolves, too powerful. This was lunar work. My blood froze. Lunar wolves, my kind, blamed for the attack. But lunar wolves were extinct. Except for me, which meant rogues pretending to be lunar, another investigator concluded. Using enhanced claws, trying to stir up fear, blame extinct creatures for their crimes. I said nothing. Let them believe their theory. Better than the truth. That I was the only actual lunar wolf alive, and someone might have been targeting my family because of it. The girl is the only survivor, someone said, looking at me. What should we do with her? She has no family, no pack. She'll need placement. They sent me to the main pack territories, away from my mountain home, away from everything familiar, into a world where I had to hide even more carefully, because now I was alone, completely, utterly, the only lunar wolf in existence, with no one to teach me, no one to guide me, no one to help me hide, just me, my secret, and 7 years of pretending ahead. Chapter 2, The Hiding, years 1 to 3. Year 1, the new pack. They placed me with the Silverwood pack. Large, established, well-ordered. I was 17, traumatized, hiding a massive secret. "You'll work in the pack library," the Alpha said. "Quiet work, suited to a wolf who's had trauma, who needs gentle placement." They thought I was broken, weak, a poor wolf whose family was massacred. They gave me pity work, isolated work, perfect for hiding. I lived in a small apartment above the library, worked alone most days, organizing books, cataloging texts, avoiding people, avoiding attention, avoiding situations where I might shift accidentally. "You're very quiet," my supervisor observed. "Very solitary. Is everything all right?" "I'm fine, just still processing my family's deaths. I prefer solitude." "Understandable. Take your time. The library is a good place for healing." Healing, if only they knew. I wasn't healing. I was hiding. Every day, every moment. Suppressing my true wolf, showing the world a small brown wolf when forced to shift, living as half of who I was. The full moons were agony. My wolf demanded emergence. Lunar wolves drew power from the moon. Full moons made suppression nearly impossible. I'd lock myself in my apartment, draw the curtains, suppress the shift with every ounce of willpower I possessed. Sometimes I'd fail, partially shift, white fur emerging, silver eyes glowing, power radiating. No, control it, hide it, don't let anyone see. I'd force the shift back down, resume my small brown wolf form, hate myself for the deception, hate the world for making hiding necessary. Year 2, the friendship. In my 2nd year at Silverwood, I made a friend, Mira, a she-wolf my age, kind, persistent, refusing to let me stay isolated. "You can't spend all your time alone in the library," she said. "You're 19. You should have friends, a social life. Fun. I like the library. I like quiet. You like hiding. There's a difference. Come out with me tonight. Pack gathering, bonfire, music, normal pack stuff." I went, reluctantly, stayed on the edges, watched other wolves laugh and dance and shift playfully, felt the distance between their carefree existence and my constant vigilance. "You never shift casually," Mira observed, "even when everyone else is shifting and playing. Why?" "I don't like shifting. My wolf is small, weak. I'm embarrassed by it." "That's ridiculous. All wolves are valid. Size doesn't matter." But it did matter, because my real wolf wasn't small, was enormous, was impossible to explain away as normal. So I didn't shift casually. Ever. Kept that boundary absolute. Year 3, the close call. Year 3 brought a close call, a mandatory pack hunt. All wolves required to participate, including me. "I don't hunt," I told the organizers. I'm not good at it." "Every wolf hunts. It's instinct, tradition, required." So I went, shifted into my false brown wolf, joined the pack hunt, tried to stay invisible, but hunting triggered my true instincts. My lunar wolf wanted to lead, to dominate, to show her power. I felt myself slipping, the suppression weakening, white fur beginning to emerge through brown, size increasing slightly. "Control it. Don't let them see. Don't reveal yourself." I forced my true wolf down, maintained the facade, but barely. The effort left me exhausted, shaking, certain someone had noticed. "Are you all right?" Mira asked afterward. "You looked strange during the hunt, like you were fighting something." "Just tired. Hunting takes a lot out of me." "You should train more. build endurance. You can't stay weak forever. Weak. Everyone thought I was weak. Small. Limited. They had no idea I was suppressing more power in one moment than most wolves wielded in a lifetime. The exhaustion. 3 years of constant suppression was destroying me. Physically, mentally, spiritually. I was tired. All the time. The effort of hiding my true nature drained everything. I slept poorly, ate little, existed in a state of constant vigilance. You look terrible, Mira said bluntly, like you haven't slept in weeks. Are you sick? No, just stressed. Work is demanding. The library? Demanding? You shelve books, Thalia. That's not demanding. It is for me. She didn't understand. Couldn't understand. The demand wasn't the work. It was the hiding. The constant effort of being someone I wasn't. The exhaustion of suppression. But I couldn't explain. Couldn't tell her the truth. Couldn't risk anyone discovering what I was. So I kept hiding. Kept suppressing. Kept exhausting myself. Because what was the alternative? Reveal myself and be hunted? Used as a weapon? Destroyed like my ancestors? No. Hiding was safer. Even if it was killing me. Chapter 3. The Middle Years. Years 4 to 5. Year 4. The Relationship. Year 4 brought an unexpected development. A male wolf named Garrett started courting me. You're different, he said. Quiet, mysterious. I like that. Most she-wolves are too eager, too obvious. You're intriguing. I'm not mysterious. I'm just private. Same thing. Go out with me. Let me get to know you. I shouldn't have agreed. Relationships meant intimacy. Intimacy meant vulnerability. Vulnerability meant potential exposure. But I was lonely. Desperately lonely. 4 years of hiding had isolated me completely. I wanted connection. Wanted someone to know me. Even if they couldn't know all of me. The courtship. Garrett was patient, kind, understanding of my boundaries. You don't shift much, he observed after we'd been dating for 2 months. I've never seen you shift casually, just during required pack events. I told you, my wolf is small. I'm self-conscious about it. Can I see? Your wolf? I won't judge. I promise. Panic. Pure panic. But refusing would seem stranger than complying. I shifted into my false brown wolf. Small. Ordinary. Unremarkable. Garrett studied me. You're beautiful. Why are you embarrassed by this? I'm not strong. Not impressive. Just ordinary. Ordinary is fine. I don't need impressive. I need genuine. Which you are. Except I wasn't genuine. I was a complete fabrication. Every aspect of who I showed him, a lie. The real me was locked away, hidden, impossible to share. The guilt. The relationship lasted 6 months. 6 months of pretending, of showing him a false version of myself, of feeling guilty every time he said he loved me. I love you, Thalia. I want you as my mate. Will you accept? I should have said no. Should have ended it. Should have admitted that he didn't actually know me. Didn't love the real me. Loved a fiction I'd created. But I was so lonely. So desperate for connection. So tired of being alone with my secret. I need time, I said. This is big. I need to think. Take all the time you need. I'll wait. However long you need. I never gave him an answer. 3 weeks later, I ended the relationship. Couldn't do it. Couldn't mate someone under false pretenses. Couldn't build a life on lies. Did I do something wrong? Garrett asked, devastated. I thought we were good, happy. What changed? Nothing changed. I'm not ready for mating. I'm sorry. Is it because of your wolf? Because you think you're not strong enough? Because I don't care about that. It's not about my wolf. It's about me. I'm not who you think I am. You deserve someone genuine, someone real. I can't give you that. I walked away, left him confused and hurt, hated myself for it. But what was the alternative? Mate him while hiding who I truly was? Build a relationship on fundamental deception? No. Loneliness was better than dishonesty. Year 5. The investigation. Year 5 brought danger. Investigators started asking questions about lunar wolves, about sightings, about possibilities. There have been reports, a pack official said during a community meeting, wolves seeing unusually large white wolves in the northern forests. Some believe lunar wolves might not be extinct after all. My heart stopped. Northern forests, near where my family had lived, where I'd grown up, where I'd shifted freely before the attack. Lunar wolves have been extinct for centuries, someone scoffed. These are probably albino mutations, natural variations, nothing supernatural. Possibly, but the sightings describe silver eyes, massive size, abilities beyond normal wolves, all characteristics of lunar wolves. If lunar wolves existed, they'd be incredibly dangerous, incredibly valuable. The pack that controlled one would have unmatched power. Controlled. The word made me sick. They didn't see lunar wolves as people, as wolves, as individuals. They saw weapons, tools, power to be controlled. This was why I hid. Why I'd spent 5 years suppressing my true nature. Why I'd live my entire life as a lie if necessary. Because being discovered meant being used, being controlled, being turned into something I wasn't. The increased vigilance after the investigation announcements, I increased my vigilance. Barely shifted at all. Even my false brown wolf appeared rarely. Stayed in human form as much as possible. You really never shift anymore, Mira observed. That's not healthy. Wolves need to shift. It's part of who we are. I shift when necessary. That's enough. It's not enough. You're suppressing your wolf. That causes problems, psychological issues, physical deterioration. You need to shift regularly. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're getting worse, more withdrawn, more exhausted, more broken. Please, talk to someone, get help. This isn't sustainable. She was right. It wasn't sustainable. 5 years of constant suppression was destroying me. I was exhausted, depressed, barely functioning. But what choice did I have? The investigation was active. People were looking for lunar wolves. I couldn't risk any exposure, any slip, any hint that I was what they were seeking. So I suppressed harder, hid deeper, suffered more. Because survival meant hiding, and hiding meant suffering. Chapter 4. The Final Years, Years 6 to 7. Year 6. The Breaking Point. Year 6 brought me to the breaking point, mentally, physically, spiritually. 6 years of suppression had nearly destroyed me. I was skeletal, exhausted, barely able to function. My wolf clawed at me constantly, desperate for freedom, desperate to emerge, desperate to be seen. You need a healer, my supervisor said, alarmed by my deterioration. You're not well. This isn't grief anymore. This is something else. I'm fine, just tired. You're dying, slowly. Something inside you is dying. Please, see a healer. Get help. The healer was kind but confused. Your vitals are normal. Blood work is fine. Physically, you're healthy. But energetically, something is severely suppressed. Like part of you is locked away. Suffocating. I don't know what you mean. Your wolf. When did you last shift? I shift when required. Pack events, mandatory gatherings. That's not enough. Wolves need regular shifting. Daily, ideally. Your wolf is being suffocated. That's why you're deteriorating. You need to shift. Regularly. Let your wolf emerge. I can't. Why not? How could I explain? That shifting meant revealing my true nature? That my wolf was legendary, powerful, hunted? That freedom meant danger? I just can't. My wolf she's not safe. I can't let her out. That makes no sense. All wolves are safe. Shifting is natural. Not for me. For me, shifting is dangerous. I can't explain more than that. Just trust me. I can't shift freely. The healer looked troubled, but couldn't force me. I left with recommendations I couldn't follow, prescriptions that wouldn't help, advice that was impossible to implement. The decision I had to make a choice. Keep hiding and die slowly, or reveal myself and face the consequences. I chose a middle path. I'd leave Silverwood, go somewhere remote, somewhere I could shift freely without observers. Let my wolf breathe for the first time in 6 years. I'm requesting a transfer, I told my supervisor, to a remote outpost, somewhere quiet, low population. I think isolation will help me heal. Remote outposts are difficult placements, lonely, harsh. Are you certain? I'm certain. I need space, distance, solitude, to process everything. They approved the transfer. Remote mountain outpost, Northern Territories, population of 20 wolves, minimal oversight, perfect for my needs. I packed my few belongings, said goodbye to Mira, prepared to leave Silverwood after 6 years. I'll miss you, Mira said, crying. You never let me know you. Not really, but I'll still miss you. I'm sorry I couldn't be more open. It's not about you. It's about me. About things I can't share. I know. I hope wherever you're going, you find peace. Find yourself. Find freedom from whatever you're running from. I hugged her. Felt terrible about the deception. About 6 years of friendship built on lies. But what choice did I have? I left for the Northern Outpost, hoping for freedom, for relief, for a chance to let my wolf breathe. Year 7. The Outpost. The outpost was perfect, remote, isolated. The 20 wolves there kept to themselves, worked their shifts, lived quietly, asked few questions. I worked as record keeper, documenting supplies, logging weather. Boring work, but solitary work, with minimal supervision. And for the first time in 6 years, I shifted freely. At night, deep in the forest, far from the outpost. I let my true wolf emerge. White fur, massive size, silver eyes glowing in the moonlight, power radiating from every pore, freedom, absolute perfect freedom. I ran, for hours, felt my muscles stretch, my power flow, my wolf rejoice at finally being seen, being real, being herself. This is who I am. This is what I've been hiding. This is what they can never know. The relief was indescribable. After 6 years of constant suppression, letting my wolf emerge freely felt like breathing after drowning, like light after darkness, like life after death. But I was careful, shifted only at night, only in deep wilderness, only when certain no one would see. The discovery. 3 months into my outpost assignment, someone saw me, a hunter from the outpost. Out late, tracking deer. He saw my white wolf, my massive size, my silver eyes. He saw everything I'd hidden for nearly 7 years. He reported it, immediately, to outpost leadership. Who reported it to regional leadership? Who reported it to the capital? There's a lunar wolf in the Northern Territories. Confirmed sighting, white fur, silver eyes, massive size, all the legendary markers. The investigation began immediately. Who was it? Where were they? Could they be captured? Controlled? Used? They never suspected me. The small, broken, traumatized record keeper. They were looking for someone powerful, confident, obvious. Not me. Never me. The summons. 2 weeks after the sighting, the summons came. To everyone in the Northern Territories. Every wolf, without exception. The Alpha King is investigating the lunar wolf sighting. All wolves in the Northern Territories are summoned to the capital, to the royal court, for questioning and examination. Panic. Absolute panic. If I went, they'd eventually discover me. If I didn't go, I'd be declaring guilt. Either way, I was trapped. This is mandatory, the Outpost Alpha said. No exceptions. The king's command. Everyone goes. I packed, prepared to travel to the capital, prepared to face the Alpha King's court, prepared for my 7-year secret to end. Because maintaining the lie in front of the king himself would be impossible. He'd see through me, force me to shift, expose what I'd hidden. 7 years of hiding, about to end, in front of 300 wolves, in the Alpha King's court. My worst nightmare, coming true, unavoidably, irreversibly, terrifyingly. Chapter 5. The journey, the travel. The journey to the capital took 3 days, all 20 outpost wolves traveling together, escorted by royal guards, treated like suspects, potential lunar wolves, potential threats. "This is ridiculous," one of my fellow outpost workers muttered. "None of us are lunar wolves. We're ordinary wolves. This is a waste of time." "The king needs to be thorough," a guard said. "If there's a lunar wolf in the territories, he needs to find them. They're too dangerous to remain hidden." Dangerous. There was that word again. My kind weren't seen as people, as individuals, as wolves with agency. We were dangers, threats, weapons to be controlled. I said nothing, kept my head down, tried to blend in, tried to appear as unremarkable as possible. "You're very quiet," one of the guards observed. "Nervous about something?" "No, just, I don't like travel. I prefer staying in one place." "Understandable. This will be over soon. The king will examine everyone. Determine there's no lunar wolf among you. You'll return to your outpost. Except there was a lunar wolf among us. Me. And the king would discover that. Eventually. Inevitably. The capital. The capital was overwhelming. Massive. Thousands of wolves. Buildings that scraped the sky. Wealth and power on display everywhere. "I've never seen anything like this," I whispered, having spent 6 years in quiet Silverwood and 3 months in remote outpost. This was beyond anything I'd experienced. "The capital is magnificent," a guard agreed. "The Alpha King's seat of power. The center of the kingdom. Impressive, isn't it?" Terrifying was more accurate. Because somewhere in this massive city was the royal court, where I'd be examined, questioned, forced to shift, where my 7-year secret would end. They placed us in a holding facility, comfortable but guarded. We weren't prisoners, but we weren't free to leave either. "You'll be examined in order," an official explained. "Alphabetically, questioned about your abilities, asked to shift, demonstrate your wolf. The king will observe, determine if any of you match the lunar wolf sighting." My surname was Thorn. Near the end of the alphabet, I'd be among the last examined. Days of waiting, anticipating, dreading. "This is absurd," an outpost wolf named Marcus complained. "I'm a brown wolf, small, ordinary, obviously not lunar. Why waste the king's time examining me? Protocol. Everyone gets examined. No exceptions." The examinations began. 1 wolf at a time called to the royal court, questioned, made to shift, evaluated, dismissed. I watched them return, relieved, annoyed, frustrated by the waste of time. None of them lunar, all of them ordinary, exactly what they claimed. My turn approached, inevitably, unstoppably. The preparation. The night before my examination, I couldn't sleep. Tomorrow, everything ended. Tomorrow, I'd be exposed. Tomorrow, my 7-year secret became public knowledge. I considered running, fleeing the capital, disappearing into wilderness, living as a rogue, anything to avoid exposure. But royal guards watched the holding facility. Escapes were impossible. Running would only confirm guilt, prove I was hiding something. No, I had to face this. Face the king. Face the court. Face the revelation I'd been dreading for 7 years. Tomorrow they'll know. They'll see my true wolf. They'll realize what I've been hiding. And then, what? Will they kill me? Imprison me? Use me as a weapon? What happens to discovered lunar wolves? I didn't know, because there were no discovered lunar wolves. They'd all been destroyed. Centuries ago. I was the first in 300 years, which meant there was no precedent, no protocol, no established procedure for what to do with me. I'd be at the king's mercy. Completely. Utterly. Absolutely. That terrified me more than anything. The morning came. My name was called. Thalia Thorne, you're summoned to the royal court for examination. Come with us. My hands shook. My heart raced. My wolf prowled anxiously, sensing what was coming, knowing she'd finally be revealed. It's going to be okay, I whispered to her. To myself. To the secret I'd kept for 7 years. Whatever happens, we'll survive. We've survived everything else. We'll survive this, too. But I wasn't certain, wasn't confident, was absolutely terrified. The guards escorted me through the palace, marble halls, gilded ceilings, opulence everywhere, intimidation obvious. We reached massive doors, ornately carved, leading to the royal court. The Alpha King is inside, a guard said, with his court, advisors, pack leaders. They'll question you, examine you, be honest. Don't lie to the king, he can smell deception. I nodded, unable to speak, terror choking my words. The doors opened. I walked through, into the courtroom, into my nightmare, into the moment I'd been dreading for 7 years. Chapter 6. The Revelation, the Courtroom. The royal court was magnificent. Marble floors, vaulted ceilings, hundreds of wolves seated in tiered galleries, all watching, all waiting, and at the front, on a raised throne, the Alpha King. He was stunning. Dark hair, silver eyes, power radiating from him like heat. The most dominant alpha I'd ever encountered. Thalia Thorne, he said. Voice deep, commanding, absolute. Step forward. I obeyed, walked to the center of the room, stood before his throne, felt 300 pairs of eyes watching, judging, anticipating. You're from the Northern Outpost, correct? Yes, Your Majesty. You work as a record keeper, correct? Yes, Your Majesty. You've been in the Northern Territories for 3 months. Before that, you were at Silverwood Pack for 6 years. Before that, you survived the massacre of your family's mountain pack, correct? He'd researched me, knew my history, my movements, my background. Of course he had. He was thorough. That's what made him dangerous. Yes, Your Majesty. That's all correct. Tell me about your wolf. My heart stopped. This was it. The question I'd been dreading. My wolf is small, brown, ordinary. Nothing remarkable. Ordinary, interesting word choice. Shift for me. Let me see this ordinary wolf. I hesitated. Once I shifted, there was no going back. No more hiding, no more pretending. I prefer not to shift in public, Your Majesty. I'm self-conscious about my wolf. That wasn't a request. Shift. Now. I closed my eyes, prepared to shift into my false brown wolf. One last time. One final lie before the truth became inevitable. I began the shift, felt my body changing, started to suppress my true nature, started to show them the small brown wolf I'd been hiding behind for 7 years. The intervention. Stop! The king's voice cut through my shift, halted me mid-transformation. Don't suppress. I can feel you suppressing. Show me your real wolf, not the one you've been hiding behind. Panic. How did he know? How could he tell? Your Majesty, I don't know what you mean. This is my real wolf. Liar. The word echoed. I can smell your wolf, feel her power. She's massive, ancient, strong. You're suppressing her. Deliberately. Extensively. Why? 300 wolves leaned forward, intrigued, suspicious, anticipating revelation. I'm not suppressing anything. Don't lie to your king. I can sense wolves' true natures. It's my gift, my ability. And your wolf is no small brown ordinary creature. Your wolf is powerful, legendary, hidden. Show her to me. Now. I stood frozen, trapped, exposed without even fully shifting. He knew. Somehow, he knew. If I show you my real wolf, I said quietly, desperately, everything changes. My life, my safety, my future. Everything. Then everything changes. Show me. The shift, I had no choice. Disobedience meant punishment. Continued lying meant worse. The king commanded. I had to obey. I released the suppression. All of it. 7 years of constant pressure. 7 years of hiding. 7 years of pretending. I let my true wolf emerge. The shift was explosive. Power radiating. My body growing. Fur turning white. Eyes glowing silver. Size expanding to twice normal. Massive. Magnificent. Impossible to misidentify. I was lunar. Undeniably. Completely. Visibly. The courtroom erupted. Gasps. Shouts. Chaos. Absolute. Complete chaos. Impossible. Lunar wolves are extinct. She can't be. That's impossible. She's been hiding this. For how long? The king stood, descended from his throne, approached me, my massive white wolf. His expression, awe, recognition, understanding. You're lunar, he said, quietly, reverently. Actually lunar, I suspected, but seeing it, you're magnificent. I shifted back to human, stood before him, naked, vulnerable, exposed in every possible way. 7 years, I said, voice breaking. I've been hiding this for 7 years, since I was 17, since my family was massacred. I've pretended to be ordinary, broken, small, because being lunar means being hunted, being targeted, being destroyed. Not anymore, the king said. You're under my protection now. No one will hunt you, target you, destroy you. I guarantee it. The questions. The court wanted answers, needed explanations, demanded understanding. How did you hide this for 7 years? An advisor asked. Lunar power is immense, impossible to suppress completely. Constant vigilance, I said. Every moment, every day. Suppressing my true nature. Showing a false wolf. Pretending to be something I wasn't. It was exhausting, painful, nearly destroyed me. Why hide? Why not reveal yourself? Lunar wolves are legendary, revered. Why pretend to be ordinary? Because lunar wolves were hunted to extinction. My entire bloodline was destroyed, systematically, deliberately, because other wolves feared our power. I hid to survive, to avoid being used as a weapon, to live as myself rather than as a tool. But you're the last one, another advisor said. The only lunar wolf alive. That makes you invaluable, essential to preserve. Why would we harm you? Because invaluable means controlled, essential means used. I didn't want to be preserved like a specimen, studied like an experiment, used like a weapon. I wanted to be just me, just Thalia. Not lunar wolf Thalia, just me. The king silenced the questions. Enough. She's answered sufficiently. Thalia has been through enough trauma. Enough interrogation. She needs rest, privacy, time to process. The aftermath. The king dismissed the court, ordered privacy for me, provided chambers in the palace, assigned guards for protection, not imprisonment. You're safe here, he said, showing me to luxurious rooms. No one will harm you, I promise. Why do you care? I'm just one wolf. Why does the king care about protecting me? Because you're not just one wolf. You're lunar. The last of your kind. That makes you precious. Worth protecting. Worth valuing. I don't want to be precious. I want to be normal. Normal isn't an option for you, but protected is. Safe is. Valued is. Accept those. Let me help you. I collapsed onto the bed, exhausted, overwhelmed. 7 years of hiding. Ended. My secret, exposed. My life, forever changed. What happens now? I asked. Now that everyone knows what I am? Now you stop hiding, stop pretending, stop suppressing who you are. Now you live freely, as yourself, as Lunar, as Thalia, whoever you choose to be. I don't know who that is anymore. I've been pretending for so long. I don't know who I am without the hiding. Then we'll discover it together. No more secrets, no more suppression, just truth, freedom. You, as you were meant to be. Chapter 7. The Acceptance. 3 months later. The Adjustment. The first month after revelation was overwhelming. Media coverage, public interest, scientific curiosity. Everyone wanted to know about the lunar wolf, the last of her kind, the legend made real. How does it feel to be lunar? What abilities do you have? Will there be more lunar wolves? Can you reproduce the bloodline? The questions were invasive, personal, exhausting. The king shielded me as much as possible, limited press access, controlled information flow, protected my privacy. "I'm sorry this is so overwhelming," he said. "I'm trying to minimize the exposure." I appreciate that, but it's a lot. Going from completely hidden to completely exposed. No middle ground, no gradual revelation. Would gradual have been better? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, it's done. Everyone knows. I can't undo it. Do you want to undo it? I thought about it. Really thought. Did I want to go back to hiding? To suppressing? To pretending? No, I said, surprising myself. No, I don't. The hiding was killing me. Slowly, painfully. This exposure is uncomfortable, but it's honest. Real. That's better than comfortable lies. The training. The second month brought training. Learning to use my abilities. Understanding what being lunar actually meant. Lunar wolves have abilities beyond ordinary wolves, the king explained. He'd been researching, reading ancient texts, learning everything about my kind. What kind of abilities? Enhanced strength, you already know that. Enhanced healing, also known. But also, thought reading, emotional influence, moonlight channeling, pack bonding across distances. Your abilities are extensive, powerful, barely explored. We trained together, the king helping me discover what I could do, what being lunar meant beyond just being large and white. I could read thoughts if I concentrated, sense emotions without words, influence other wolves' feelings, channel moonlight into physical energy, bond with pack members across distances. I was powerful, more powerful than I'd realized. The suppression had locked away not just my wolf's appearance, but her abilities. Everything I could do, hidden for 7 years. The relationship. Somewhere during the second month, my relationship with the king shifted. From protector protected to something more. "You're spending a lot of time with me," I observed. "The king must have more important duties than training one wolf." No duty is more important than protecting the last lunar wolf, ensuring she survives, thrives, becomes who she's meant to be. Is that all this is? Duty? Obligation? Protecting a valuable asset? He looked at me, really looked at me. Silver eyes, intense, honest, vulnerable. No, it's not duty. It's interest. Genuine interest. In you. Not because you're lunar, because you're Thalia. Strong, brave, remarkable. I'm drawn to you, have been since you walked into my courtroom trying so hard to hide. You're drawn to me? The king is drawn to me? Why is that so surprising? Because I'm nobody, a librarian, a record keeper, someone who hid for 7 years. How is that attractive? You survived 7 years of suppression that would have killed most wolves. You protected yourself when no one else could. You're resilient, powerful, extraordinary. That's incredibly attractive. The feelings. I developed feelings. Real, genuine feelings. For the king. For Nikolai. his actual name, not just his title. I think I'm falling for you, I admitted, terrified, vulnerable, honest. I've already fallen, he said, simply, directly. Fell the moment you shifted in my courtroom. Saw your true wolf, your power, your truth. I fell completely. This is insane. The king falling for a wolf who hid for 7 years. The king falling for a brave, strong she-wolf who survived impossible circumstances. That's not insane. That's perfect. What about being lunar? Does that complicate things? Make this political? Strategic? Being lunar makes you rare, valuable, protected, but that's not why I want you. I want you because you're Thalia, the she-wolf who valued freedom over fame, safety over power, truth over legend. That's who I want. Not because you're lunar, because you're you. The mating. 3 months after the revelation, Nikolai proposed. Formally, traditionally, perfectly. Thalia Thorn, last of the lunar wolves. Will you accept me as your mate? Not because I'm king, not because I can protect you, but because I love you. Genuinely, completely, permanently. Yes. Yes, I'll be your mate. I love you too. You saw me when I was trying to hide. You protected me when I was exposed. You value me for who I am, not what I am. Yes. Absolutely yes. The mating ceremony was public, massive, the entire kingdom celebrating. The king mating the lunar wolf, legend mating legend. But for us, it was personal, intimate, real. 2 wolves who'd found each other despite impossible circumstances, who'd built love from revelation and trust. I'm glad you forced me to shift, I whispered during the ceremony. If you hadn't, I'd still be hiding, still suppressing, still dying slowly. I'm glad you survived long enough for me to find you, to force that shift, to see your truth, your magnificent, exactly as you are. Epilogue. 2 years later. 2 years after the courtroom revelation. 2 years of living as myself, as lunar, as Thalia, as queen. I'm standing in the royal gardens with Nikolai, watching our daughter play, silver-eyed, white-furred when she shifts. Lunar, like me. The bloodline, continuing, surviving, thriving. She'll never have to hide, Nikolai says. Watching our daughter with pride and love. She'll grow up free, celebrated, protected, never suppressed. Because I hid for both of us. Suffered the suppression so she doesn't have to. That makes it worth it. All 7 years. Worth it. Do you ever regret it? The hiding? The years lost to suppression? Sometimes, but mostly, no. Hiding taught me resilience, taught me strength, taught me who I am beneath the legend. I'm grateful for that, even if the journey was painful. There's a portrait in the throne room, of the moment I shifted in the courtroom. White wolf, massive, silver-eyed, the revelation captured forever. The plaque reads, "The hidden shift, when 7 years of suppression became 1 moment of freedom, and hiding became revelation." Because that's what happened. 7 years of hiding, 1 forced shift. Everything changed. I went from broken to legendary, from suppressed to celebrated, from hidden to seen. And I found love, found purpose, found myself. All because the king commanded me to shift, to show my truth, to stop hiding. Sometimes the thing we're most afraid to reveal is exactly what we need to show. Sometimes hiding destroys us more than exposure ever could. Sometimes being forced to reveal our truth is the greatest gift we could receive. I hid my shift for 7 years, until forced to reveal it in front of the Alpha King's court. That forced revelation saved me, freed me, made me who I was meant to be. The lunar wolf, the queen, the mother, the legend, but most importantly, Thalia. Just Thalia. Living freely, openly, truthfully. No more hiding. No more suppression. No more pretending. Just being. Myself. Completely. And that is the greatest freedom of all. Luna's closing. And there you have it, my beautiful dreamers. The story of Thalia and Nikolai. Proof that hiding can kill us. Forced revelations can save us. And sometimes the thing we're most afraid to show is exactly what makes us extraordinary. Did this story move you? Did you feel Thalia's fear and freedom? Did you believe in Nikolai's protection and love? Then show me some love. Hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me what you think about the 7-year hiding and the forced revelation. And subscribe to Luna's romance audiobook so you never miss another tale of secrets and salvation. I want to know, what would you have done? Hidden for safety or revealed for freedom? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, my dreamers, may your secrets find safe revelation. May your hiding transform into freedom, and may you find someone who sees your truth and celebrates it. This is Luna signing off.